What does depression sound like? That's kind of like where I was going with this song. I think the little embodiment of depression is like when you start like fighting demons, you know what I'm saying? There's this one specific day where I was really like going through it, like I don't even know if I want to talk I don't even know if I want to talk about it, but what's good, everybody? It's your boy, my gosh, I'm already starting off horribly. It's your boy, the Heaven Sent Instrument, always ready to represent Justin, JD, who, but in this case, Corbin Blue, because, I don't know, I guess I kind of look like him a little bit with this hairstyle, but, you know, it is what it is. In today's episode, we're going to be breaking down my song Demon Slayer, which is out now on all streaming platforms. Links in the bio, or links in the description, my bad. And I ain't finna waste no time. I ain't finna waste your time on this. Let's just get into it.
Yeah, a nigga been fighting with demons all day. I'm tired of seeing them in the hallway. Maybe one day I can shoo them away. Yeah, let them know.
Yeah. I wrote this song during a time in my life where like I was going through a lot of like a severe case of depression. So what this song embodies is like what does depression sound like? You know, that's kind of like where I was going with this song. You know, I think the little embodiment of depression is like when you start like fighting demons, you know what I'm saying? And you get to a point where you're just tired of it, you know? I was tired of it. I was experiencing a lot of like a lot of friends were leaving, a lot of relationships ended. Even my therapist, she left at the time. There was a lot going on that during that time, you know. So that was literally like the first thing that came to mind. Like when I first heard the beat, the first thing that came to mind was I've been fighting with demons all day. And the day that I'm specifically talking about was like there was this one specific day where I was really like going through it, like I don't even know if I want to talk I don't even know if I want to talk about it, but yeah, like oh man. It was one day where like I was literally like thinking of like, you know what would I even put on like a suicide note, you know? It got like that dark. It got really dark that day. But thankfully, I recognized that my thoughts were going to that way. My thoughts were leaning towards that. And I mean like snapped out of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna take my mind off of stuff. I'm gonna go to my my young adults night at my church, at my previous church. I'm gonna go to that young adults night, and I'm gonna just, you know, try to figure it out.
I'm telling my demons that I need a break. When I go insane, I normally pray. Now I need to shoot them away.
First and foremost, I wanted to censor that part out. I said a certain thing that I would never do in real life. That's why I censored it out, because I'm just like, boy, you ain't finna shoot nothing. You're not gonna shoot anything. You know what I'm saying? So, and plus, like, based off of what I stand for, like, I don't want to make any mention of those type of tools of destruction, you know what I'm saying, in my music, because, you know, they're just destructive and stuff like that, especially in put in the wrong hands. I do want to get my license to carry, though, someday. But as of right now, I'm just like, nah, I ain't finna go down that path.
Pray for myself, pray for my health. I don't get any sleep, I've been wrestling hell. Like the Undertaker in Hell in a Cell. Somebody tell him, ring that bell.
I'm a huge like WWE fan. I was a huge WWE fan when I was super young, and I'm a huge fan right now. You know what I'm saying? I took like 10 years off of my fandom, but like once like around like 2023, early 2023, I want to say like February 2023, like I immediately like picked it back up, stuff like that. You know, my favorite wrestler growing up was the Undertaker. You know, I just loved like his aura. You know, even though it's an overused internet term, but he just had so much aura with him. I think it's also because he had like a certain like spiritual like air about him. You know, there's something spiritual about him, so that's, you know, gravitated towards that as well. He's definitely like my number one favorite wrestler of all time. I just remember me and my brother, we would just like I remember whenever like his music hit, we'd always like turn the lights off. I don't know, it just core memories, you know. We'd always like turn the lights off once his music hits and stuff. Just to like, you know, just for the atmosphere and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to Undertaker, Mark Calloway, for shaping my life.
Say fuck all these hoes, I'm sinning for real. Trust me, you don't wanna know how I feel. I'm spiraling out of control for real. When I crash out, I'ma shoot from the hip. Not talking about guns, I'm talking about quips. Them fuckers in school used to call me a slave, so I'm buying a chain and I'm buying a whip.
Fuck all these hoes, I'm sinning for real. That was a line that I borrowed from Future. He said, fuck all these hoes, I'm sinning. I can't remember what song he said that in, but it had to have been like a song that I was listening to around the time. It's probably a line off of like his last album, Mixtape Pluto. So I kind of just borrowed that line for that section right there. I'm not even gonna admit it. I'm gonna just admit it. I borrowed that line. So sorry, Future, but he was really speaking to me. But yeah, being I was called a slave in high school. You know, occasional slave word usage and occasional hard R. Definitely something I'm not new to, but you know, it is what it is. It's the world we live in, you know. I remember being called it when I was at track practice, stuff like that. And I was like, but like, you know, in high school, I was like, what, like 110, 120, a buck 20 or something like that. So I was like, and the dude, he was like twice my size. So I was just like, what am I gonna do? You know, I'm just have to sit there and take it, I guess. Pause, super pause on that. Now that I'm a lot older and at least a little bit stronger and stuff like that, I'm more able to rectify the situation.
Whipping the ass if I see him again. I promise I'm crashing out like a white yen. I'm not a your nigga no more, I'm a man. But black don't crack unless you on it.
Black don't crack unless you're on it. You know, even if in a serious like dark song, I gotta still be stupid, you know. Black don't crack unless you're on it. Cause you know, crack and stuff like that. It's crazy. Not that I've ever had it, and nor do I ever want to have it, but you know, I don't want to try it. I don't want to test that theory. I don't want to test that theory. I think I'm good and just like assuming that black doesn't crack unless you're on it.
Black doesn't crack unless you on that shit. A couple of days on a futon of shit. Everything God said to me went out of the window the moment I met that bitch.
Yeah, that was kind of just a response to like a relationship falling apart around that time. I was definitely like just in my feelings. Oops, sorry. I was definitely just in my feelings about that. You know, but now that I'm in a much better place, like, you know, it is what it is. People can make their decisions, stuff like that. It's all good. Plus, it really wasn't that serious either, so I don't even know what I was tripping over, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was feeling that though. I definitely felt that. I think it was because like just like the amalgamation of events that was occurring around that time, you know, because it was just like, you know, this person was leaving, that person was leaving, this person was leaving, that person was leaving. So it's like a combination of everything. So yeah. I also wanted to touch on everything God said to me went out of the window. It kind of speaks on like I actually make reference another reference to that in another song called The Prayer, where I said it's hard to stay Christian when you're in your feelings and the devil's on the move. It's kind of like the same line, but it's more so just like it's just more like in your feelings, like more emotional thing to say, you know what I'm saying? God says to like, you know, don't trust your emotions, trust in his word and his doing and stuff like that, you know, because your emotions can, you know, cloud your judgment, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure everybody understands that. I know, the saying cooler heads prevail. But, it's real though. At the end of the day, like feelings are still real at the end of the day, so that's kind of my thing on that. So yeah, I don't even know if what I said makes sense, but it is what it is.
Hey, fuck all these hoes, I'm sinning. When you stick to the code, you winning. Hey, fuck all these hoes, they sinning. I stuck to the code, I'm winning.
Fuck all these hoes, I'm sinning. When you stick to the code, you're winning. Now, that's a little bit of like a double entendre, because it's like the code being like the Bible. When you stick to the code, you're winning. But it could also be like your own moral code. You know what I'm saying? When you stick to the Bible, yeah, you will win for the long term. But when you stick to your own code, you'll win. You might win in the short term, but it's like, it's giving you that choice where it's just like, do you want to stick to the Bible, or do you want to stick to your own code? You know what I'm saying? What's going to lead you closer to heaven? You know what I'm saying? So you make that choice. I'm not going to tell people what to choose. I'm going to just tell you like, hey, here's your choice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get like preachy or anything like that. That's the main thing that I really don't want to be. It's like, I don't want to be like preachy. I want to still deliver a message, but it's like, I don't want to be preachy. If that makes sense.
Telling them demons to get off my back, telling them niggas to get off my dick. Fuck everybody that's holding me back. I'm liable to crash if you lie like a bitch. Ain't got time for the fuckery. No. Fuck every bitch that's in love with me. Ain't never gonna put any trust in these hoes. So why is you putting your trust in me?
I'm never gonna put any trust in these hoes. So why is you putting your trust in me? I mean, it's just common, just rap stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't trust these hoes and stuff like that. But it's like also, don't trust these hoes, because I guess I'm a hoe in my own daggone self. I remember after like when my relationship ended, I just like completely like fell off the whole like celibacy thing. Like I went back to like the old Justin, back when I just wanted to wanted to be a thought, you know what I'm saying? Wanted to be promiscuous, you know what I'm saying? Back in my promiscuous days. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to like, everything God said to me went out of the window. The moment I met that, God told me to stop being promiscuous and treat your body as a temple. But the moment I got in my feelings, I said, F all that. I'm doing my own daggone thing, I eventually like reeled it back in though. I eventually reeled it back in, and I'm back on my journey, stuff like that. So everything turned out all right. Ain't had no babies. Thank goodness.
I know I'm holy, I know I'm a saint. It's just that we live in a world that ain't. It's just that we live in a world that taints the image of God, the Lamb was slain.
At the end of the day, I know who I am, regardless of like what season of my life I'm in, whether I was in that that short promiscuous season again or not. Like I know I'm one of God's children at the end of the day. It's just that like we just live in a world that's just full of hate, disrespect, disgust, judgment, and all that like it's easy to just fall into that. You know what I'm saying? It's just so easy to fall into that. That's why it's like it's very important for me to just stay down and just like keep to myself. Don't get too far into like the social media stuff. Just stay more in the Bible than on social media and stuff like that. Just ground myself, keep people around me that care about me and support me, stuff like that. Which I do. I think I do a pretty good job at that. So I'm thankful for that. Shout out to all my friends and family and stuff like that. Again, like this is the same world that like killed Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, how can you not be like jaded to this entire world? How can you not grow? Like how can like this disdain for this world just not grow and stuff like that, If somebody would, I wouldn't blame them, but it's like, it is what it is.
I wanna be holy, but not today. Got niggas encroaching my personal space. Got bitches that haunt me inside of my dreams. So leave me alone, I got money to make.
I wanna be holy, but not today. That's probably like one of like the realest lines I've ever like. I mean, I'm gassing myself up. I don't want to gas myself up, but that's like such a real line. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you just like. Sometimes when you're so far into your feelings, like. He's like, man, I don't care anymore, And I was literally at that point. I was really at that point, where I just didn't care anymore, I just too many people like just messing with me, too many people like left, too many people abandoned me, stuff like that, you know. So it's just like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Just tired of being holy, you know. I got money to make. Honestly, I don't like that line. I don't like how I ended that. Like, what does money have to do with anything, you know? I said that line because it flowed, I guess. The line that I originally wanted to say was like something along the lines of like they all gotta pay or something like that. That's what I originally wanted to say, but it's like the moment I like thought of that, it was like whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, that's the end of the lyric breakdown, man. Hope y'all like it. My bad. I'm kind of in a rush. Like, I gotta get on live in a couple minutes, so I got a lot going on right now. I'm just trying to record content for TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. So my mind's kind of like all over the place, you know. So yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow me on all my socials. Make sure you stream my music, stream Demon Slayer. It's out now on all streaming platforms, you know, Apple Music, Spotify, everything, you know what I'm saying. And with that being said, see y'all later. Peace. I don't know why I did that. I was like, I don't do that. Like, why am I being somebody I'm not? You know what I'm saying? Shame on you, Justin. Shame on you. But all right, I'm gonna see y'all later.